Here we have my 1998 Isuzu Trooper, and I just hit 200,000 miles on this guy. Hey! I've had it since 2009. I've done quite a few things to it over the last few years. And I figure since I just hit my 200K that I would do a little video and talk about everything I've done to it so far. Alright, I am out here in the Cibola National Forest. And I think I'm gonna take a pit stop and do a quick walk around. So, let's see. Got the Trooper in 2009. I bought it for college, going home and back to school on the holidays and weekends and stuff, and had 113,000 miles on it. And like I said before, I just hit 200,000. Done a lot to it. A lot of stuff's been there for me when a lot of things sometimes weren't for me in my life. So let's first talk about the lift. It's my number one questions I get on this thing is, how'd you do your lift? What did you do for your lift? Let's start with the rear end because that's easy. Easy because all I got back here, I'm running the coil springs from the front of a Grand Cherokee. I hope there's no cactus down here. And there's the spring. I'm running a riser up there. You can see that spring booster thing. 2 inches, Pro Comp, whatever off-road brand. These springs will have a little bit of a like a pigtail thing you gotta cut off because it needs to be the full diameter down here and up there, unlike the Jeep. And then that spring there, that'll give you about 2 inches of lift. 1.5 inches, 2 inches. And I'm running that in the rear. And then I also did the little riser because get a little more height out of it, and you know, right now the rear end's a little higher than the front. I don't have a problem with that because I load up a lot of gear or do something. I want to be able to hold the weight back here. What else? Not really any other modifications back here. See, there I am. Got a story about that. Anyway, but here's my I got a Rancho shocks, just did that. Big difference, huge difference on a trail. Because before it'd be like on these bumps and rocks and stuff, and put the Ranchos on it and it just stiff and smooth. It's just so much better. Got the G80 axle here, the limited slip modified Isuzu 12 volt 410 gears, or 411 I think. Not a lot of parts for these. If I had the not wider track, just the regular GM 12 bolt or Isuzu 12 bolt, there'd be more gears and more options. But this modified 12 bolt, there's really not much, I don't think. And if there are, it's really hard to find. Anyway, so that's the rear end. The lift is just Jeep springs, some spacers on it. You don't even need the spacers. I didn't have spacers on it for a long time, but I boosted it up a little bit more. Let's go up front. And main thing I gotta say is, if you're gonna lift your front end at all, get manual hubs. You need them. I tore CV boots. Probably like 3 sets of boots I ruined. And first set, like I lifted it, I drove about 200 miles, and I look underneath and it was torn. And that's how quick it was running any lift at all. They were trashed, you know. I did about like 2 inches right off from stock, and I tore the stock boots. Put another pair on. Those lasted a while, tore them. Finally got another pair on, a third set. And those lasted quite a while. And then I found the manual hubs. These came off of I think an 89 automatic first gen. And I think that's like the only year that they had them on Troopers. I know other Isuzus had them in other years, but for Troopers it was 1 year of the automatic version. But yeah, I found them at the junkyard, put them on. Best $30 I ever spent. I even got some gas mileage back on the highway. Yeah, it's really great. And by the way, my tires are 33s. They're 285, 75 R16, BF Goodrich all-terrain, TA KO2, the new KO2 tires. Pretty awesome. Anyway, so yeah, get yourself some manual hubs. Got some friendly neighbors out here, I see. You need the hubs. You need them. All right. So, up front, to lift it, to actually lift it, it's easy. Let me go around. You just get the you find the torsion bar, big old fat nut on there. Where are you? Right here. This baby. This guy right here. See, find your torsion bar. Goes all the way up front. Find that. Put your big old fat metric wrench on there. I think it's like a 22 or a little bigger than that. 1 1/16 inch around there. And lefty loosey, turn it left, I think you raise it. Turn it right and you lower it. And I think it's about, rule of thumb, 4 entire turns is 1 inch of lift. So use that for your knowledge. Yeah, so that's how you lift it. Real easy. You could do it in 15 minutes. You can jack your Trooper all the way up. But if you don't worry about everything up there, you're gonna trash your whole suspension. So get your manual hubs. But if you want to do what I did what they call a diff drop. So, you know, they don't really make a lift kit for these, and you see I'm running like 2 inches of lift and my CVs are straight. Now, what you do is you can't really see it. It's right back there, that other red piece. There's 2 brackets that hold the diff, the little front axle, to the frame. And that is right here. You see the axle? From there to here, the 2 brackets and the axle. Held on with these brackets. And what you can do, go to your junkyard, find one with the same brackets as you, cut them. I'll put some pictures here. You cut the bracket, it's about 1.5 inches, 2 inches max. Look up on the Planet Isuzu forums for the exact specifications there, and then you weld it back together, and then you fill in the empty piece with some extra metal, weld it up, clean it up, paint it. Then you could tear your whole front end apart, like what I did, and put the brackets on, lowering your diff. And it's a pretty annoying job. You got this like steering here that's gonna be in the way. You got getting the little cup, this little CV cup off of this axle shaft's a pain in the butt. You pretty much, you gotta take the whole axle out to do it. You know, and if you're just gonna change just your boots, you undo your clip, and then there's a little other clip inside this cup, and the whole shaft will come out, but the cup will stay. But in order to really do the diff drop, the cup has to come out. To get the cup out, it's in the axle, you gotta take it out. Uh-oh, where the hell did that come from? Oh, that's from my steering linkage. Should grease those up again. Anyway, so, yeah, and when you do that, you make your brackets, everything's good, but you got this cross member, and you see, it doesn't quite clear now, since you lowered that differential. But just like the bracket, you cut it, you notch it, and then what I did, me and my buddy got this piece of square tubing here, and we welded that up against it, boxed it in sorta to reinforce it. And now, you know, it's kind of a low spot, but you know, I'm not too worried about it, but that's what reinforces the front end. And yeah, that's my lift. You know, I did the ball joint flip. That's the upper ball joint where you mount it underneath with a spacer for even more travel up front. Did that. Except in doing that, like, look at how close that runs to your wheel, like right there. That control arm, like, since it moves it up, it then has a hard time clearing that, and you need to get stick-on wheel weights. I found out, because those things will hit your wheel weights on your wheels, and boy, it makes a terrible sound. I thought I lost my suspension or something, but it was just that. I got the Rancho shocks up here too. Big difference. I got these HD steering arms that I got from Independent 4x. Pretty good site. They got all your goodies. You know, not the cheapest place in town, but it's what you do when you want your stuff. So yeah, you know, these are definitely beefier. The little stock ones are about as thin as like a pencil, like my pinky here. And you know, I replaced it before it ever was a problem, and glad I did. Yeah, so drop your diff, get some manual hubs, and you won't trash your CV boots when you go off-roading. Or do a solid axle. That's what I really want. So, what else? Next big thing is this big thing. My bumper. Saved up for a long time. Got it from Independent 4x. Also not cheap. This puppy, I don't remember how much it was. $1,400 or something like that. Had to ship it via freight. Came on a semi truck, whole 9 yards. But I like it. It's man-made just for my truck. They make two models. One that's for the narrow trooper, which is like pre-96 or something like that. You know, they're the kind with the more square front end. When they didn't have the wide track with these flares. And the wide version, which is what I have. So, you know, and it's a little tweaked, like, because I had bumped into some stuff when I had my first bumper. So you see, this is in here and there, and then you go here, and it sticks out a little more, and my tire rubs. So I'm kind of chewing up this tire on that. Found out on Isuzu Trader, or the Holden Jackaroo Facebook buddy on there, he went about 1.5 inches in right here, and he cut it. He trimmed it. I think I want to do that, and I won't rub anymore. Be perfect. But I feel kind of bad taking a grinder to such a expensive piece of equipment. Anyway, I guess you can always fix it. But I'm running a Badlands Harbor Freight winch. I heard some good reviews. There's some good write-ups on them, how they've put them up against other winches, and they've performed just as well as the competition. So figure for how much I'm gonna really use the thing, I'll go with the cheaper one for now. But it was about $400, 12,000 pounder. It saved me a couple times, but it's nice having that security of the winch. What the hell is going on here? Yahoo. Yes, Badlands winch. Mounts right up inside the bumper. Had to do a quick little thing where you flip over where the little clutch thing is at. See that deal? It normally is like around the back side of the winch, and from the way it mounts, I had to undo all the bolts in the thing and twist it or turn it around and put it back together. That wasn't hard, but got the winch. Got these high beam lights, these off-road lights. I wired them to my high beams, so that's an easy way to do it. But they work, look good. Mounted my jack right to the bumper. Found this on a page, Toyota page online, and there was a guy that did this with a Tacoma. He just bought some big old bolts at Home Depot. I think you just run the bolt up underneath the tab, lock bolted on here, and then I stacked 2 lock bolts right there and right here. Leave enough room for yourself on top. You get your wing nuts and tighten it on. And I went ahead and drilled a little hole and put this little cheapo lock on here. You know, it won't stop a thief, but it'll stop someone in a Walmart parking lot. You know, same with this cracked lens. Who's gonna want that? So yeah, the Snorkel is an eyesore, but I like it. It's kind of a cool air intake. Had to take a hole saw right here, drill right through the kit, which is pretty cool. It says Trooper on it. Got it from eBay. That thing is I think it's actually made for like a diesel trooper of the same body style. Right hand drive, you can see this little notched out area where your antenna goes. My antenna's over there. It's normally here on the right hand drive. Anyway, you gotta take your inner wheelhouse out, little plastic. Mine's actually flopping all over. Probably need new little clips. Huh. New thing to fix. Not everything's perfect after 200,000 miles. But there's another piece of ductwork that goes up in here and it connects to your air box right there, and there was like 2 or 3 pieces I didn't even use from the kit. Yeah, you know, I'm not gonna open the hood because I gotta take this thing off and whatever, but it's I just got like a 4-inch in diameter by like probably 4 inches rubber piece of air hose duct thing from AutoZone, and I just hose clamped it on and made sure it was all watertight. I did a little silicone bead on there and connected it to the stock air box, which is watertight. There's actually a little tiny like hole in the bottom of the air box, and you can either like fill it or leave it a tiny hole just to like drain whatever water does accidentally get up in there. And on mine I actually left the hole, you know, because I would have to be underwater for a long time for enough water to come in through that little tiny small hole. So, you know, just take the air filter out, you refill the little hole. It's easy. It's Legos. If you could buy that, if you could put Legos together, you can install this thing. You just gotta get your hole saw right, because once you drill that, you are stuck. All right, so that's the thing. Lift, shocks, diff drop, springs, snorkel, bumper, winch, hubs. It's really all my like off-roading things I've done to it. You know, being this is also my daily driver. Oh, I bought this. I bought Isuzu letters and I stuck them on there. And I plasti dipped it black. That's kind of neat. I also plasti dipped my other badge. Oof. Okay. Anyway, since it's my daily, I got a little boom tube back here. Pretty easy to install that guy. Found on Amazon. 250 watt, whatever, built-in amp. Easy to go. Got some more recovery equipment here. My pick, shovel, come along, light bulb, tools. Yeah, I've been happy with this little sub though. It's pretty good. Goes right there and it's not in the way. Straps right on. You have to put some little holes in your plastic. That's no big deal because it's plastic. Problem with New Mexico is it gets dusty. Anyway, so nothing much back here. I kind of wish I had the 3rd row jumper seats that fold down, but then I wouldn't have as much room back here. So yeah. That's the back end. Pretty cool. You know what? Let's go back underneath. I'll show you my exhaust. Had a local exhaust place in Albuquerque. Did a high flow cat and a Flowmaster 40 series with a 2.5-inch pipe. I went up from the 2 to 2.5, so that whole stock little white pipe thing goes straight to the new high flow cat into the Flowmaster, and it's loud. It sounds good. Yeah, I hear there's a resonator thing inside of here that you can remove, make it even more loud. You know, go in with some vice grips and tear it all out. I don't know. I ain't doing that anytime soon. Anyway, yeah, it sounds good. You probably hear it in my videos. So that's the exhaust. up here inside. Boy, I'm dirty. Trim this out. Trim it out of the video. Now inside, I ain't done too much. I got this Pioneer radio. Had a JVC, but it got stolen. Someone busted this window and stole my radio and my tools. That wasn't fun. You know, on the other big, haven't modified much in here except I added the handles because they are pre-threaded holes here, and here for when this is a right-hand drive. And I assume if you have a right-hand drive, you don't have the handles on that side. But you go to your junkyard, you unscrew these, and then you go in and you just measure your spots, drill the hole in the plastic, and they screw right on. You know, I almost wish I didn't do this one because I hit my head on it all the time. That sucks. Let's say hi to the people here. Hello. This is the man behind the camera. Anyway, I changed this to an LED light. A little brighter. Yeah, that's it. Troopers lasted me a long time. And it ain't going anywhere soon. 200,000. 376 miles. You know, I got this thing with 113. So, you know, even a majority of the miles haven't even been by me yet. So, it's kind of crazy to think after all these years somebody else has been driving it still longer than I have. But, that's it. That's my Trooper. 98. Lifted. Yeah, any guys have any questions about any of this stuff? Lift, motor, any of that, you know, it does burn a little oil. Just check it every other time you get gas or every 500 miles. First, my 88 had a problem. Burnt out a valve. 4th cylinder exhaust valve is bad, and this thing's always burned a little oil. So that's it. Anyway, it's a pretty cool truck. I love it. It's my Isuzu. And thanks for watching.